Folks, a little bit of an afternoon adventure for you. This is Glenrio, Texas. And this is New Mexico. That's the post office in Glenrio, Texas. The old gas station here is in New Mexico. Quite a little story goes with this place. The old gas station here. Town dates to about 1905. The railroad came through and encouraged people to come into the area and begin farming. Believe it or not, at one time this was a rich, prosperous community. There was a lumber company, hotel, newspaper, gas stations. Fueling the economy, we also had the Ozark Trail, a predecessor to Route 66, came down the main street here. Of course, when Route 66 arrived, that added to the prosperity quite handsomely. A little bit of a neat little trivia tidbit here for you. State line, that on that side's Smith County, Texas. It's dry. No alcohol. Here in New Mexico, you can buy the booze. Down the road a piece is a little town, a ghost town of ND. And it was named after the ND Ranch. And it's spelled E-N-D-E-E. Neat little bit of trivia for you about that. Down in ND back about 1909, some folks tried to take this idea of having dry counties across the state line. And some cowboys took offense to that. And in what became a staple later for Western movies, the cowboys broke up that temperance meeting by riding their horses through the saloon where it was being held and busted up the place pretty good. Another thing about ND down the street, there were some cattle rustlers working this area, Tucumcari and San Juan, and the last use of horse-drawn posse in the state of New Mexico rounded those bad boys up down there in ND. Glenrio survived all manner of things. Changing climate, the Great Depression, and the Dust Bowl era that decimated farming, the removal of the railroad. But the one thing it could not survive was the removal of Route 66. At one time, this was a 4-lane highway, bustling with traffic. And in the blink of an eye, in the late 70s, it all came to an end. Everything was moved over to I-40. And within less than a year, the town was dead. Just about up here where this UPS truck is, you can see a sign peeking behind the bush. Folks were real visionaries with their advertising and marketing there. They had a hotel and a thriving little restaurant before it all came to an end. And this side of their sign said, "First motel, first restaurant in Texas." The other side said, "Last motel, last restaurant in Texas." Glenrio today is really a poster child for what happened when Route 66 was bypassed. It was necessary. The old road couldn't sustain the traffic. But with its bypass, multi-generational businesses were erased. Livelihoods were destroyed, and entire communities became ghost towns. Sunset in Glenrio. The bane of most of the old abandoned Route 66 places today is thoughtless vandals. Believe it or not, this little town survived largely intact until just the last 24 months. The cafe up the street still had all the glass in the windows, and you could still read cafe on the window. There was no graffiti. That's all changed. It changes the whole character of the road, but folks, this is like exit 0. First one in the state of Texas. You get a chance and you're on the big super slab over there on I-40, take a minute. Take a little bit of a detour into the past. And just listen. If you're really careful, you might hear the whispers of the ghosts of the past on the wind. Folks, take care. We'll see you on the road real soon.